Hey guys, in this video we're going to put some interior in FrankenNova. Now, it's going to be mostly a street strip style car, but I want full interior in it. I'm going to put a back seat in it, even though you can't use a back seat because I put a roll bar in it. So I'm going to put the racing seats in it on the front and then the regular seat in the back. I'm going to put new carpet in it. I'm going to put some sound deadener on the floorboards and all around the stuff, try to keep the noise down a little bit. Then I'm going to put the door panels and everything in except for the headliner. And I've got the sail panels for the back, but they're pretty ratty and a little bit brittle. I'm going to try to do some repair work on those, so those might not go in this video, but everything else, including the new dash pad, is going to go in this video. Let's get to work. Okay, so first, we're going to put some sound deadener in. This is from Thermotech. It's Cool It Supersonic Acoustical Matte, because I'm reading it right there. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to this exact thing. I ordered it from Amazon, so you can go there and get it if you want to try this. This, Kill Matte, Fat Matte, all of those are pretty much the same product. Some of them, the thicknesses may be different, but they're all butyl with a foil backing. It's pretty much all the same material, and it's adhesive. So I'm going to put this down on the floor, the back of the back seat, all the door panels, and yeah, that's about it. I've bought 6 boxes of this. Hopefully it's going to be enough. Okay, so you can get this stuff in 2 different sizes that I saw. I think there's a 36 by 24 inch and then a 36 by 60 inch. I got it in the 60 inch, and for most of that floor it'll be fine that way, but for some of that, that's going to make it a pain because I've got all my bars from a roll bar in the way. But 60 inch ought to just about reach across the whole car. And including all the little humps and stuff. So I'm going to kind of start as close to the front as I can. I'll cut it around the front down bars, get it as far forward as I want, and then I'll work my way back. When I get to this area right here around these bars, it's going to be a little bit trickier to kind of unroll it, so I may have to slice it into some sections and fill in some spots that way. Okay, so I'm going to try to slide this forward as far as I can get it. And I'm going up the toe boards about 4 or 5 inches because I really don't want to run out and not have enough to get up on the transition to the trunk. So that's about right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel some of this off. I'm going to peel some of this off. And kind of stick it about an inch away from the inner and outer rocker flange. Now, since the tunnel is a different diameter in the front and the back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down the center, and hopefully I'll have enough on both sides. I've got it centered up enough, but I think if I do that, it'll make it much easier to keep a neat and do a neat job of it. Keep it neat and do a neat job. Roll this back this way. pull the paper off of it and kind of put it down as it needs to go. And you really want to try to keep from getting a bunch of bubbles in it. Because that's just going to make putting your carpet down a giant pain. It'll stretch a little bit, but not a lot. Deadening mat in the car. It's a little sloppy in the back, but it'll work. The main thing is to get it on the surface and keep everything from resonating. So, like I said, looks pretty good unless you start looking at it real close, and then it doesn't look so good. But now it's time for the carpet. Okay, so the carpet I'm going to put in here is an ACC carpet. Auto Custom Carpets, I think is what that stands for anyway. It's ACC carpet. I'll put a link for this exact carpet, and I think they offer it in 4 or 5 different colors, so you have to select black, but I'll put a link in the description for this 2-piece carpet. This is the front piece. It's got the driver's side floor pad put into the carpet, and this is a loop carpet, not cut. So it's got this piece, and it's got the piece that goes in the back. We're going to put this piece in first, put the back piece in after that, and hopefully it fits halfway decent. I'm going to have to mark where my shifter cable comes out. Of course, I'm going to have to cut around the roll bar, but I'm hoping it won't be that difficult to make it fit decently. And obviously the sides will have to be cut to fit. See if I can cut this hole in the right spot without ruining my carpet. Always make sure you have a sharp blade in here. This one I've dulled down already and it's not cutting like it should, but like I said, I'll be able to make that look halfway decent. The kick panel and the seal plate will cover up most of it. So now I'm guessing that the back should have went in first because there's no seam on this one, which means I also don't know which end is front or back on this. So I'm going to guess that the side with the biggest reveal other than padding, so this is a little bit shorter than this side, this is the front I think, but I'm also going to have to adjust it, cut it a bunch to fit around the roll bars and tuck it under the front carpet. It probably stops right at the edge of the back seat. So we'll throw it under the front. I'm still going to have to mark my shifter hole. I haven't done that yet. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. It's all right. Okay, so now the carpet is in the car. Now it's not held down at the edges. I'm going to use some double-sided tape around some of the areas, like right here, where it goes around the roll bar. And then my seal plates and my panels will hold in the other edges, and it still needs to kind of settle down a little bit in the center. I did get my shifter cable through. Finding my seat bolt holes and finding my shifter bolt holes is probably going to be a little bit of a pain. Now I'm going to try to put in my rear door panels and my kick panels. Now I cleaned my kick panels up and I hit them with some satin black paint, so they look halfway decent. A lot of times these things are really brittle, and mine are not. Mine are in pretty good shape. Now my sail panel, my interior sail panels, those are pretty screwed up. But actually, before I do this, I need to run my wires back. There we go. Now the one on the passenger side has this big vent in it that slides into the cowl, so it is much more difficult to get in usually. Okay, that wasn't terrible. Now these back door panels might be much more of a pain to get in. I did kind of test fit them with the roll bar when I was putting it in to make sure I could still get them in with the distance I had right here, and I could, but this might be really easy. It might not do too good. Okay. Well, dadgum, this. Okay. Yeah, these are going to be pretty easy to put in. So there's that, right? Now, I really got to take that back up and run my wire into the trunk real quick. But thank God it wasn't hard to do, so I can do it again. Okay, I ran my wires to the trunk. Hope they're all right ones. Let's see if this will go on the second time just as easy as it did the first. And there's your answer. Yes, it did. Okay, let's hope this side goes in just as easy as the driver's side. Okay, it was just as easy. Okay, the sound deadener's in, the carpet is in, the rear kick panels are in, the front kick panels are in, or I guess rear kick panels, rear door panels, the rear interior panels are in. Before I put the back seat in, I got to put a new package tray in. Now, I bought this one several years ago from Chevy Nova. It's a PUI, so I know it's good, but it's been sitting kind of dusty. So, let's see how it looks. Actually looks pretty good. So, not too bad. So yeah, I'll have to trim it for the roll bar, but that shouldn't be too bad. It'll look ugly around where it goes around those, but I'll notch it and put it in there, and that should fit pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to try to slide this in here and at least see if I can figure out where to put my notches. I gotta cut a little more than that. Okay, so I got it in there. It's not great with a roll bar. Probably needed to do something custom and take a lot of time with it. And on this car, I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, I'll get it to stick before I put the glass in it. I'll get it to stick down better, and I'll clean up around this. Maybe put a scutcheon or something around this so it looks a little cleaner. I'll make something to go around that and clean that up. But right now I just needed to get this in here so I could put the back seat in and fold that down behind the seat. Okay, this back seat is not in great condition, but it is in usable condition. That's a little dirty. I'll clean it better when I get it inside because I know I'm going to scuff it up getting it inside. It'll probably stay together. Oops. But the trick is going to be getting it in here with the roll bar in here and everything else. Now, I did try this before I put the rear side panels in, right after I put the roll bar in, but pretty difficult. Now, I wanted to make sure I could do it without the glass in it, with the glass in it. So really none of that came into play because the bars are in the way of getting it down in there. So I'm going to try this again and hope it works. And I'm stuck. So I was able to get it to drop in there. And now I just got to get it hooked on the hooks on the back and get the, ouch. Get it hooked on the hooks on the back and then get the bolts in the bottom. So. Tuck that in better. So that wasn't too bad. Now I'm going to get the rest of the back seat in and hopefully get it to hook on my hooks without too much drama. Okay. Finally. Goodness. It's not so bad. I think I bent it a little bit. But you can't sit back here without it being super dangerous. So I don't think it's going to matter. Now, all right. So it's a street car now. It's got a back seat, right? Because that works. Next. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put the door panels in. Now, these door panels are not in great shape. They look pretty good, but you can tell that they're cracked on the back side. You can kind of see it through the vinyl. I've epoxied the back to try to keep it from completely falling apart. A lot of the little tabs where the little things go that hold it on are broken, so I can't put those things on anymore. And yeah, the top weather strip plastic part right here is broken apart, and it's not really somewhere where I can glue it back together. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put the panel up here, get it in place, and then I'm going to use some small screws that are black and screw through this into the door. Like I said, the panel is pretty shot, so I'm not too much worried about the panel. I'm going to try to do that and try to make it look halfway decent, at least for a little street strip car. Okay, these screws are not self-tapping. They're little black screws. I got them in the automotive fastener department at Lowe's, and so the little black screws with a washer on them, they look just like trim screws, but since they're not self-tapping, I'm going to drill a pilot hole. I'll put one right here. And I'm going to put another up top. Get another couple down here, and it'll be great. Okay, so I got a screw in here, and I got a screw in over here, and now the door panel is on pretty good. It's got a little bit of rattle to it there. I'm going to put these old, crappy looking window cranks I have on there for right now. I'm going to get some new ones, but for right now, these are going to work, so I'm not going to put the little clips on to hold them in. I'm just going to leave them without the clips, and maybe they won't fall off when I shut the door like this. Hey, there we go. Okay, now for the driver's side. Now this panel is in overall better condition. It's more rigid, but the armrest is kind of beat up on it and chewed up. It does have the lock ferrule in it, which the other one didn't, and the top is not separated or cracked real bad like the other one is. So, like I said, overall, it's in decent shape. They're definitely presentable, especially compared to a car without door panels. So if I can get this on here without too much drama, it would be nice. Get it screwed down like I did the other one, because same thing, it's got the most of the plastic pieces on the back are broken off where that holds the little pegs for the thing. There are two of them on here. I'll see if I can get those to go in, but yeah, it broke. Okay, so that's the door panels. Now we've got pretty much the rear panels in, the door panels in, the kick panels in, carpets in. The next thing to do, I'm going to put the sill plates down, and I'm going to put the B-pillar trim in, and then the headliner trim. Now, sill plates, I've got a couple of them around here collecting dust, spider webs, something. I've got a pile of them. I'm going to go through and get the two best ones I have that aren't bent up real bad, or some of the holes like this one is pulled completely through, and make sure that I can get these fastened down without too much drama. I'll find some screws for them somewhere around. I've got a pile of factory trim screws in a box. I'm going to find those, clean these up real good. Okay, I'm going to clean them up kind of good. I'm going to clean them up, and then I'm going to put them on the car, put the B-pillar trim on. Those are painted and ready to go. They look fairly nice. One screw holds those in, and then we'll get the headliner trim put in and get the seat and the dash and the instrument cluster put in. Okay, so got this where I think I need to have it. I cleaned up a couple of these that were in decent shape with some Scotch-Brite. Got most of the crap off of them. And I'm probably using screws that are too big for the holes, but that's okay. It's gonna have to be okay because I'm gonna keep doing it. Especially on the side that actually pushes down on the carpet. Okay, so the seat I'm going to be putting in here is a plastic Jazz Racing seat. It's one of the seats that was in the '69 Grudge car. Now what I did was I put some riv nuts. I welded a piece of tubing across here, put some riv nuts in that to hold the back of the seat, and then I've got some riv nuts in the thickest part of the floor up here holding the front of the seat. And I hope I've got it somewhat square because I don't want to be looking left or right as I'm trying to drive this thing. So I've cut some threaded rod, has that sticking up. That'll make getting everything started easier, or get the seat set down on there. Now I cleaned the seat up a little bit. I painted it, and it looks a lot better. Still doesn't look perfect, and the brackets are still kind of nasty looking, but it'll be okay. And you may have noticed I did not put a seat bracket in the passenger side. Two reasons. Number one, to start with, I'm just going to be drag racing this car and a little bit of street driving by myself. But the main reason is I want to put some nicer seats in it than these, and I really don't have any idea what my bracket is going to be like. So I didn't want to put anything down there. It'll be easy enough to take a little bit of carpet up and some of the sound deadening material and get it straightened out. Okay, so it seems I missed a little bit. I got the outside of the bolt pattern right, and I got the right rear one right, and this one seems to be a little bit in, but I think I can make that work. I think I can force it. Okay, so now it's time to put the shifter in, and I did the same thing with the shifter that I did with the seat. I took some 1/4 inch instead of 5/16 for the seat, but I put some 1/4 inch threaded rod, cut it into small sections, pushed it through the carpet, and now I've got studs sticking up, and that's a heck of a lot easier to get the shifter mounted to than trying to ring through the carpet and through some of the padding into the riv nuts I've got in the transmission tunnel. So I'm going to try to get this old beat up mega shifter that I'm going to have to get some case and cover for. I'm going to try to get it set in here and get the we'll get this bolt in first. All right. That wasn't so bad. Okay, so now we've got most of the interior in, just finished up putting the shifter in, and now we've got to do the dash pad, the instrument cluster, and the only thing left after that is the A-pillar trim. The B-pillar trim is in, and then the headliner trim. And the headliner trim, I ordered a headliner, it's not here yet. Hopefully it'll get here and I can put that in. I might not put that in this video, but really it's just these it's just these two pieces, and then the pieces that go over the doors. So there's not a lot to it. They're all painted and ready. You can't see them unless you're sitting in the car. So this is an OER reproduction dash pad. I hope it fits well. I haven't tried it yet. And I have replaced the dash in this car. You can check out that video right here. Now, I'm hoping that all of these little bolt holes align with the dash that I've put in the car. And I really hope so, because I don't want to have to modify too much. Anyway, we're going to put this in, and then we're going to clean the instrument cluster up and put that in. And other than mounting some gauges, we're done with the interior after that. Let's try that out. Now, I'm hoping this fits really well, because this thing was not cheap. A couple $100. I'll put a link in the description, like I do on a lot of this stuff. And hopefully if you need one, you can use the link, and we'll see how well it fits. See if I can get this nut on right here. Okay, now I'm going to get this one through and get a nut on it, and hopefully that'll hold it in place. Now there's a stud that goes through right here. So we'll see how it fits once everything's tight. But if I can ever stop dropping and losing the nuts. Okay, so now I'm going to put in this dash. This is a stock dash. I'm not going to hook up the speedometer or any of that stuff yet, because the wiring's not ready, and I don't have a speedometer output on my transmission in this car. So all I did was wipe it down pretty good bit. I'm going to drop the steering column down so that I can get the dash set in place, and the interior will look complete but not actually be complete. And then I'll do another video where I mount my gauges and stuff like that. All right, let's see here. There we go. There we go. Now get some screws in that to hold it up, and we'll be in business. Now I'm going to put my A-pillar trim on, and I'm going to have to take this dash pad back off to put my VIN number back in from where I changed the dash and never put it back in. So that sucks, but still needs a little work to get it tightened down anyway. So all right. Okay, so interior is done. Well, except for the shifter cover, maybe some scutcheons or something I'm going to make around the roll bar in the back to where it goes to the package tray. I've got to put the glove box door on, and then I'm going to clean up the steering column and steering wheel a little bit. I got to do a seat belt. I'll do a video on the racing harness. I'm going to put a 5-point harness in. Now, I did not put a seat bracket on the passenger side, even though I have another one of these plastic seats, because I want to put the Pro Car seats in here, and I don't know what I'm going to need to do for a bracket there, so I just decided not to put anything here. Now I know I'll have to dig the carpet up for that, and maybe some of the sound deadener. That'll be okay, not a big deal. Okay, so that's the interior. Now I'm going to put links in the description for the dash pad, the carpet, and the sound deadener. And the dash pad fit is a 7 out of 10. If you're building a show car, find an original dash and have it recovered by one of the companies that do that. They do a real good job. I've never used any of them, but I know people who have, and it's always been fantastic. Now, like I said, that one is a 7 out of 10. It looks really good. The finish and everything looks great. Doesn't fit perfect. In this car, it's not going to matter. I mean, look at it. Anyway, subscribe while you're here. Hit the like button for me. It means a lot. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And check out my other videos. Come back and see me.